Welcome back, guys, and today we're going to give you our real take on The Tomorrow War, which just debuted today on Amazon Prime.
On Prime, yes. It stars Chris Pratt in the main role. It also stars Yvonne Strahovski, J.K. Simmons, and Betty Gilpin as the main co-stars, and it's also directed by Chris McKay, who directed the Batman Lego movie.
That's right. So obviously he can do no wrong, right?
Obviously.
Or can he? My initial thoughts on this movie was that it was fun and it had some good humor, some intense action, but a little predictable and definitely felt like a rushed Amazon movie.
Yeah, it just felt like it was a movie that I have seen many times before.
Yeah.
It had like influences up the gazoo of like other sci-fi films, you know. I don't want to get into specific ones. But
I will.
But the
Aliens, Starship Troopers,
Terminator, Reverse Terminator. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of all of that in there. But I thought that the plot points were very tropey, you know. I thought that the moments in the film that required more emotion and resonated with like some human pathos were dragged out a little too long. They really overemphasized the father-daughter conflict in the movie and father conflicts in general. But, you know, obviously that added to the human, you know, element of the story. So it was fine, but just a little like too in your face, if you will. That's how I felt.
This movie kind of felt, because of the dragged out moments, it kind of felt like two movies in one, you know, especially how they structured it in the last act, which is
it completely changes.
Yeah, it does.
Well, it's kind of cool the way that it does change as far as like the look of it, the topography of it all. Like there's a stark difference or change.
Not giving anything away.
But there's a clear change in setting, if you will, which is kind of neat. I think that we should go back a little bit and kind of go over like what the movie is about just a little bit more.
But so much in your face.
Yeah, but in a nutshell, what you're getting here is the future is basically threatened by an alien invasion of sorts, right? Humanity is virtually on the verge of extinction here. You go into the past, and then there's a way in which they're able to find out what's going on in the future. Chris Pratt has experience.
Right.
He gets chosen. There's like a world draft, and he gets chosen to go and fight to save humanity from the ugly, scary, gigantic cockroach.
And I will give them credit for this.
Shrimp,
those
wolf, lobster creatures.
Those creatures looked very scary, very creepy, very original. It was like a shrimp, a wolf, and an octopus. It was like a wolf.
The white spikes,
shrimpus.
Ladies and gentlemen, the white spikes. That's what they're called. You know, what elevated this movie slightly for me, it really is, it felt kind of like I've been there, done that a lot for me. But what elevated it for me a little bit was the look of the aliens, you know. They were genuinely creepy and scary.
They were.
And some really intense action sequences that didn't let up, and it never felt like it dragged on too long.
Cinematography wasn't like Oscar winning, but it was good enough to really get you involved and engaged in that.
Yeah, and there were also a little bit of like plot holes in the film as well.
Sure.
You know, if you get really technical about the time travel elements and also like all of this stuff.
It's one of those things where you kind of have to suspend your disbelief, right? Or else you're going to be poking all these holes in the plot, right? Just kind of roll with it.
The movie also lacks quite a bit of realism, but it is a sci-fi action film, so that's okay too. I just hope that, you know, we had a little bit more background maybe about some of these characters.
That's a good point.
You know,
because I wanted to see more of Chris Pratt's Okay, so Chris Pratt, he's a biology teacher, right? Trying to, I guess, transition to a different job.
But he has experience, right?
He has experience in the military, and apparently he was like this big badass. But they don't show you any of that, so you kind of have to take that on faith as he moves forward through the plot, right? So,
yeah. And also with some of the other characters as well. They really just get thrown in there into this big fight, you know. And how did they learn how to be such incredible soldiers, right? So I don't know.
They have flawless aim, apparently. These people who look like they're grocery store clerks or the mailman.
At the end of the day, the movie is fun action. You know, the aliens are cool, but definitely lacks in some integral like movie elements that could have made it, you know, different or better than the usual fare.
So
you know?
let's move on to the acting, right? Starting with Chris Pratt, I would say Chris Pratt is Chris Pratt. He brings a decent range. You know, he has his emotional moments.
To be
decent.
Yeah, to be honest though, like I'm starting to see him as like the usual action hero character, and he's not differentiating himself enough in each of these roles. Like I couldn't help but think of Star-Lord sometimes, or
Owen from Jurassic World. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
J.K. Simmons. You know, when I think of him, I think of the insurance commercial. I think of, you know, Spider-Man being J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
And he plays a totally different character in this. I'm not going to say anything except he plays this kind of like Jaden, worn down war veteran / deadbeat dad.
To a great part, the comedic relief in the movie too.
Right.
Yeah.
And
really good.
he knocked it out the park. I want to see
He's always
more movies of him as a
and main roles. J.K. Simmons, you need to do some main roles, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Always doing these secondary characters. Give this man a main role.
And I definitely don't want to forget Yvonne Strahovski, who I thought had some really good range in this movie. She starts off playing this stoic, stern military colonel, and she does a fantastic job of that. And then you get to see some of her emotional side, and beautiful work there too. So don't want to forget that. So with that, let's move on to our real ratings. I will say that this is a movie that's definitely streamable. Probably a good thing it didn't hit the theaters. I don't think it would have made that much money, but definitely worth the watch, guys, on a rainy day like it is today for us. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. 3.5 reels. And I would say I would really give it a 3.75, but we don't have that on our scale, so 3.5.
Okay. All right. So I think the movie could have benefited from some good suspense. Everything happened so fast that I felt like with the look of these aliens, they could have really built up a little bit more suspense. But
they kind of started doing that at the very beginning. And then once they hit a point of the reveal, it was okay. You can see the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you're right. There should have been more Predator, right? Since they also took influences from that movie too, by the way.
Yeah. A bunch of them. Yeah. It was fine though. I think I justified my rating. I'm not going to say anything else except I'm going to give it 3. I kind of...
You had fun.
Three reels. I mean, you know, like it's just like an okay action movie, you know?
You let us know what you think about this movie in the comments down below. And before we go, we do want to let our viewers in Austin and San Antonio know that we're going to be in Austin July 8th through 10th, and we'll be in San Antonio on July 11th. We'll be promoting theaters and trying to get people back into those seats.
That's right.
And also, we'll be selling
lots of fun movie trivia.
Yeah, movie trivia. We'll be doing audience reactions to Black Widow, and we'll be selling some of our merch, such as this shirt, the theaters, this is Long Live Theaters. I was thinking of that shirt, the Theaters Strike Back.
Yeah, so you can also find more of our merchandise at realscreeners.com, and don't forget to look us up on TikTok and Facebook at Real Screeners and Instagram real.screeners. And don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell button, notification button, all the buttons down below if you enjoy our reviews. And please come back and take a look at the Real Screeners when they give you their next real take.